Well, I find it thoroughly distasteful.
Well, you see, Chetwynd, the thing I find hard is to tolerate his hypocrisy, especially when it takes the form of a sentimental regard for the dead just because they are dead. You hear some people talk who'd think dying was limited to the chosen few.
Excuse me.
Oh, dear. Have I upset Chetwynd again?
You two don't seem very fond of each other.
But I enjoy his company, Barnaby, really. For me, he fills a yawning gap that's been there ever since Carter left.
Got a lot to him, you know. He's very ambitious.
Oh, yes, indeed. That's why it's our bounden duty to complete the young fellow's education while there's still time.
Howarth,
My dear fellow,
who do you think will take over as head?
doesn't bear thinking about.
Well, you're the senior man.
Ah, no. Not for me. Not that I'd appeal to the governors. They have such exotic tastes these days. How do you think they'll follow a South African megalomaniac with a keen interest in lavatories? These are men of vision, gentlemen. They'll be interviewing Red Indians, Patagonians, Eskimos. Of course, there's just a faint possibility they might stumble to their senses and give David Powlett-Jones his chance at last.
Thought it best to keep this meeting small, informal, and confidential. Understood? Mr. Alcock died of a sudden and massive heart attack, and there is absolutely no doubt about the cause of his death. And I would be glad if you'd all play your part in quashing any speculative rumors about it.
Sir Rufus.
Yes, Harris.
If this meeting is confidential, I think we might be permitted to hear a few more details, eh? In confidence.
Yes. We can come to that next. Garside.
Thank you, Sir Rufus. Well, I spent a day or two in going over the headmaster's private papers. I must say I found the job a great deal easier than I was expecting. These occasions are usually difficult to administer as well as being unhappy. But Mr. Alcock had left everything to hand. Full instructions to be followed in the case of his death. Exhaustive notes on his administrative methods for the use of his successor. And a will brought up to date and signed 3 weeks ago.
No great expectations for us or for Bamfield, I'll be bound.
Well, there's a complete set of documents relating to his financial affairs and a full medical history.
Yeah.
Mr. Alcock had been seeing a heart specialist for several years. He'd resigned the post in Cape Town for health reasons. And it's quite clear from these documents that he was well aware that he could die at any time.
These being facts, of course, which he did not make available to us at the time of his interview. Had he done so, he would not have been appointed. I'm taking chairman's action on this. It's not to go further than this room. But I see no reason why his dependents should suffer because of his lack of frankness at the time of his appointment, and I'll take no discussion on this point. Now, as to the immediate future, I may say that I have asked Mr. Howarth if he will take over as acting headmaster, but he has declined.
Enormously flattered, of course, but I reached the summit of my ambition some years ago, and my own health is, well, not offensively robust.
Quite so. No criticism implied at all. But it leaves us with a gap, however. But happily, Mr. Harris has agreed to step into the breach until the end of term, by which time we hope we may appoint a successor.
Well, I shall only be able to pop over 3 or 4 days a week, you know, but it'll be a blessed relief for my parishioners, eh? And a very pleasant change for me, but I shall need all the help I can get.
Oh, only too happy, sir.
Better the devil you know, eh?
Well, I think that's all, gentlemen. Thank you for your time.
Excuse me, Sir Rufus, but may I ask where that leaves me?
I beg your pardon?
Well, it's just that I don't quite see why I was asked to this meeting.
Because I wished you to hear what I had to say, Powlett-Jones.
I'm sorry if this isn't the appropriate time to raise it, but the last time we met, you were considering whether to dismiss me or not. I'd like to know whether the governors have reached a decision yet.
Yes, of course. As this must have been rather hard on you. I'm afraid this sad business has delayed the drafting of the governor's letter which you were promised. Perhaps we might have a private word tomorrow evening?
I'd prefer to know now, if it's at all possible. I'm sorry to press you on this, but it is very important to me.
Very well, if you wish it. The governors considered very carefully the evidence presented by yourself and by the late Mr. Alcock, and they formed the opinion that there were genuine grievances on both sides, breaches of etiquette on your part, and a certain element of malice on the part of the late headmaster. But these complaints against you were not considered sufficiently grave or well-founded as to warrant your dismissal.
And that's all?
Well, that's what you wish to know, I believe.
Yes, I see. Thank you.
David! David! Have a bit of pity, man. We don't want 2 dead headmasters in 1 week. Oh, dear, oh, dear, dear. Oh, too many apple pies. Too many buttered scones with my old ladies. Oh, you just stand there a moment. There's a good chap. I know it seems only yesterday I was doing the same for you. My goodness me, there's plenty of you these days.
Look, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I'd rather be alone. I don't think I make good company.
I'm sure you won't. Frightens me to look at you, and very hard cheese on you, too. Going off for a quiet sulk on your own, and here comes old Algy Harris to irritate you, huh? It's a beautiful day, isn't it, eh?
Yes.
You know, back there in that meeting, I had the most extraordinary vision. I looked at you, and I looked at Sir Rufus, and I got this vivid impression that you were about to come across, pick him up, and shove him in the waste paper basket. That's not a bad idea. He's a splendid old chap, but he's too used to his own way. The view from the rubbish bin is a view that everybody should have from time to time, don't you think?
Yes, well, it's a view I've had enough of just lately. It looked as though it would give him great pleasure to give me 3 years' hard labor. Only the jury hadn't found the case not proven.
No. Oh, no. He was just a bit cross with you for bringing the matter up, that's all. He wanted a private chat. You wouldn't let him have it. He's used to his own way, you know. He doesn't like other people to have opinions.
And I don't see why he wanted me there at all.
Are you sure you don't?
And I wouldn't have said so otherwise.
Try and guess.
I don't feel like playing games.
Oh, dear, David. You are the heir apparent. The governors couldn't appoint you immediately. In fact, it'll take some time to bring some of them round to it, but that's all to the good. Meanwhile, I could be teaching you the trade. Sitting next to Nellie, I believe they call it. Me being Nellie, you see.
I don't believe it.
Well, unless you're going to get yourself involved in some other frightful scandal, you'd better start getting used to the idea. Now, come on, tell me. How's that young woman of yours getting on, eh? Hmm?
Fine. Hello.
Thought you'd given me up as a bad job.
Oh, I thought I'd better not go to the meeting after last time.
No.
How did it go?
Oh, not so bad. We've had worse. I don't want to be like this. You shouldn't have come.
I wish I could be with you all the time.
You wouldn't say that if you knew what it was like here all the time.
I would, I mean it.
I know, I wish you could be too. Oh, David, it's so pathetic. I'm being exactly the sort of woman Lawrence and all that lot want me to be. I nearly didn't get through the meeting tonight.